noise sensors indicate a new episode of Dave's Vintage Apple Tech has just been uploaded.
Okay guys, so this cover here, and let me just kind of zoom in on it here. And you can see this thing is really beat up. I mean, look how bad this thing looks. It looks like somebody took it and did target practice on it. There's a hole in here, and let me zoom back out here. Here we go. There's a hole in here, right there. It doesn't go all the way through it. There's just a big nick in it right there. There's just all kinds of scrapes and dents all over this thing. I mean, it's just terrible. And like I said, you know, it just really bothers me to see these nice old machines, and you know, obviously people didn't take care of them. They throw them in a closet. They didn't put them in a proper case. You know, if you put these things in a proper case from day one, it ain't gonna look like this, not unless you run over with a truck. So anyway, that's my little pet peeve. But you know what? There's hope for this cover. This is off of a Apple A10005, or yeah, 10005. It's a 12.1 inch. And this is the top cover. This thing is really beat to snot. This is actually, the bottom cover looks better. And then this is the bottom part of the case. There's obviously a serial number on here. It must have been to a school or something, but we're going to get rid of that. We're going to sand that off of there. We're going to get rid of that. And then, but again, this don't look too bad, okay? And there's no cracks in it that I can see. And then the top case here, okay, it actually looks pretty good. Just needs a little cleaning and maybe just a light polishing up here. It's got have the frame in it. I'm going to take this out, but you can see there's, let me first see where it's at here. There's one problem here. You see right here? Let me get this in the camera here, and there is a crack in it right there. Hopefully you can see that. Right, where the heck's that? Right there. There we go. Cracks right there. And but we're gonna fix that, okay? And we're gonna use this is ABS plastic, easy repair. We're gonna use some acetone. We'll strengthen that up on the inside, and then we'll sand it, and you won't even, we're going to do it, you will never see that. And with the inner frame in it, then obviously it shouldn't crack anymore. But yeah, but like I said, the top cover is the worst of the lot here. And I have lots and lots of old iBook, MacBook cases. Used to have some clamshell cases too, but never a complete clamshell. I just always have gotten parts for them. But anyway, like I said, this bottom one will be pretty easy to do. It don't need to work. Now, what I want to do is I want to clean this up with some soap and water, and I want to preserve this silk screen on this thing. I don't want to rub it off. So that's the only thing that we got to be careful with. I am working there. I mean, you know, there's ways you can, if you do rub these off, if one were to take a picture of it before you even did it, take a picture of it, and then you can get the decals like you use for modeling, and you can print them out, and you can put your own serial number back on it. Now, of course, it's not going to be as good as the original, but you can put like a very, very light dull coat over it, just in that one spot, and that'll protect it. The other way is if you had access to a silk screen, you could silk screen it back on there. But yeah, so we're going to start working on this cover. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this Apple logo off, and you know, if these get scratched up, you can this is kind of frosted, and so this is really easy to work with. But we're going to pop it out for our purposes here, because we don't want to have to deal with this. So a lot of times you can just literally take your fingernail underneath here and pop it loose. But if it doesn't, then what we're going to do, normally I would use an X-Acto knife. But let's see what we got here. Let's see, we can I don't want to do that. Let's just try it the way I was going to do it here. Let me just see if I can break it loose with my fingernails here. That's usually because sometimes they epoxy them down. Sometimes I use just double-sided tape on these things. I've got quite a few of these actually somewhere that I've actually kind of reconditioned. But yeah, so let me get this loose here. And I'll be right back. Okay, let me see. Let's get a... You gotta be smarter than the thing here. Okay, you do it this way. Alright, hello. Okay guys, I had to go get my razor blade here, so if you're very careful, you're just going to take, and what I like to do, let me see if I got some. I'm going to take some blue tape here, and what I do is I lay this really close to it. That way you're less likely to scar up the inside of the case. Now obviously the monitor goes in here anyway, but it's kind of like one of those things that I know it would be scratched. So we're going to try to minimize this here. Okay. And this bigger old painter's tape, you can use the blue one, you can use the green frog tape, that works real good. So anyway, just gonna, like I said, I just want to protect the majority of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then, like I said, once we get, and like I said, this little part underneath the logo here, doesn't matter if you scratch that, we got to clean that glue off of that anyway. So anyway, yeah, so we're just going to take and put this down here. And what you do, once you get it started, then you can peel it up here. So let's get it going. See how it's going here? And you just kind of work it around here. That way you don't want to break it. And then we'll go in another spot here and kind of do the same thing here. It's kind of slippery here. I think once it slide on the table here. And then we're going to do this again here. We're going to take and just push this here like that. And again, get this little spot up here, loosen it up here, and come up here. Like I said, once you get it loosened up, then we can just peel it off here. So like that. And then we can take and go over here and do the same thing to this one here. And then we're going to go over here and hit this one here like that. And then what I'm going to try to do is now I'm just going to try to peel it off here once I got it started here. The nail here. There we go. And we just kind of get it going here. Sometimes you can take a hair dryer too and kind of heat this up, and it'll make it kind of release a little easier too. There we go. Almost got it. Spin this around here, and we'll just pick this up a little bit. We'll go over here and kind of help it out a little bit here. We just don't want to break it. Okay. Over here. We're going to get this little leaf here of the Apple logo here. There we go. We got it. All right. Without casualty, like I said, I think they use double-sided tape on this one here because it's pretty, I can peel it off of there pretty easy. So anyway, when we're done, we'll clean this all up. We'll get all that glue off of there and stuff, and obviously we'll get all the adhesive off of this here too. So anyway, we're gonna set this over there out of the way, and we can take our tape off of here. We won't need that anymore. And I'm really not going to worry about, other than just washing it, I'm not going to really do, and cleaning this up here, I'm not going to really worry about, polishing this up on the inside. But I'm going to clean. I'm going to take some Dawn dishwashing soap. It usually works pretty good. And but I'm going to do that first. I'm going to do this off camera, and then I'll be back. Okay? I'll be back. Okay, guys. So we're going to. I took it in. I washed it with some Dawn, and it looks a lot better than it did. That tape comes off. It's just, like I said, it's just double-sided tape. It peeled right off. I got pretty much all of it, just getting the rest of it off of there, but it all pretty much all came off. It just all, I started one and it pulled all the way off. But I'm going to use some alcohol here on it and see if we can get that looking a little better on the inside. Like I said, the inside looks, which it should, but the inside looks great. So I'm just going to clean this up here a little bit. We're going to use a little alcohol here. And like I said, if I don't get everything off of it, no big deal. I just want to kind of clean it up a little bit here. I want to make sure I get all that adhesive off of it. And not all going to come off of there, but it's all right. It's I'm going to move this a little bit so that way we don't get out of frame here. Okay, so now we're going to hit this with the alcohol. So this has got some pretty good dings in it. Now this is that one ding that I was trying to show you here. It doesn't look so bad now, but because I got the dirt out of it. But that's a big chunk and ding in there. So we're gonna polish this. We're gonna sand this down, and literally we're gonna sand it like a piece of wood here. ABS plastic. That's one nice thing about ABS plastic. It is easy to work with in that respect. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna take this down, and let me get my stuff set up here. I got to put something underneath here, and I'll be right back. And let me zoom out here. So what we're gonna do is this is pretty scarred up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, this is about 100 grit, and this is going to be really abrasive, but I got to get a lot of these big gouges out of it, and so it's going to sound terrible here for a while. Okay guys, so anyway, yeah, it's looking really good. You see all the, let me zoom in on this a little bit here. There we go. So let me go up here. Those dings and depressions are all gone. What I wound up doing is I got tired of working to it by hand. I just used my orbital hand sander on it, and it's orbital, so you do it lightly, you don't burn the plastic. But anyway, I went down to 60 grit on it to get those out. Then I went up to 100, and I went up to 220, and so now we're going to start putting the shine back on it. So I'm going to do like probably let's see, we'll probably do 1,000 grit on it and get it to, but I mean all the scratches are gone, so it was just a matter of making it look like that again, putting the polish back on it. And we'll go to 1,000, and then we'll eventually go with some rubbing compound or some plastic polish. We use the McGuire's plastic polish on it, and that'll make it look good. Same thing what we did when we polished up the Cube speakers. This works pretty decent on acrylic too, so on the ABS plastic rather. So yeah, so let me hit this with the lighter one, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we're slowly getting the shine back on it. Got to work on just a little bit more, but we're getting there. And so like I said, we're gonna keep polishing it up here, and then what I do is I wet it down with the alcohol to get like this stuff off of it, and then see if I see any scratches in there. But we're looking pretty good. So we're, like I said, we've been doing the 220, so we're gonna start doing the, I got a little spot here I gotta fix, but after that we're gonna use the 600 right now on it. And again, it's starting to got a little ways to do on it, but I'm going to do wet sanding on this. That way I don't have to keep changing my paper here. So what I'm going to do is have it in some water here, and I'm just going to do a wet sand on it here, and in that way I'll get it pretty good, and then we'll go to the 1,000. And when we get to the 1,000, then we can start using the rubbing compound and getting the rest of it polished back up. And it'll be looking pretty good. Okay guys, this cover's looking really great. We just have to do a final polish on it, but we are going to continue this, and next time you see this, like I said, we'll have it nicely polished up, and then we're going to move on to the lower case, and I'll show you how to repair that crack on that case, and we'll get rid of that serial number too on the bottom of it. So until next time guys, this is Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.